Titanic Belfast celebrates over 250 years of astonishing shipbuilding history that only Belfast owns around the entire world. But the iconic nature of the building itself is inspired by water crystals, icebergs, the White Star lines, but most importantly for us, it's inspired by the great hulls of the ships that were actually built on this shipyard.
How difficult was it to design something that you thought, or that Belfast thought would fit?
Well, I think once we tapped into the magnificent architecture of the scaffolding and the aerial gantry and the building of the ships themselves, you don't have to look anywhere else for such majesty. And the idea of the ship's hulls representing the four eras of shipbuilding in Belfast, timber, iron, steel, and aluminium, all of it fell into place. And the clear crystal that nestles between each of those hulls is inspired by the derricks and the scaffolding and the hoarding that was built to build these great ships. And out of that crystal, aligned with the center of the very shipyard and gangways where the Titanic and the Olympic were built together, you can stand and see where all of this happened when Belfast owned the center of invention and innovation in shipbuilding back in the early part of the 20th century. Titanic is going to shout to the world about the genius of engineering innovation that Belfast owned. The strength of this building as the largest Titanic exhibition in the world will teach the world about all of the artisans, all of the shipbuilding magnates, all of the great leaders of shipping around the world that was concentrated in Belfast. This is going to restore Belfast as the centerpiece of one of the finest areas of shipbuilding all over the planet. This is truly one of the most magnificent things we've ever worked on. And to be able to capture the spirit of the story of Belfast as much as the tragedy of this one unique ship, balancing those two is absolutely the best part of what architecture can do, which is tell a great story about the authenticity of a city and its people. Well, one of the greatest joys working on any project is to research the history of a city as it grows. And over the years, as Queens Island was created and the Lagan River was straightened, we saw that there was so much energy and so much foresight on the city leaders to build Belfast up as a centerpiece of shipbuilding as well as commerce and trade. And as that unfolded, the story of Belfast, far more than just one tragic ship, evolved to create a magnificent story that the Titanic Museum that we're talking about is going to teach the world. The location of the Titanic Belfast building itself is at the end of the double slipways where the Titanic and the Olympic were built side by side. It actually sits on the ground to the old plating works from view out of the very drawing office where all the drawings were being created that actually allowed the ship to be built. So that intersection of the drawing office, the location of the plating works, and standing at the head of the bow of the ships on the old slipways is a perfect location to tell the story of the richness of all that this part of Belfast has had to offer.